Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 54. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host, and hopefully got my skin on, Dungeon Master Michael Corley. And with me today, and also credited for that wonderful intro name, Lee. Lee, tell everyone who you will be playing today.
G'day everybody, my name is Lee, and I'll be playing Osokai, the Shifter Ranger, who has apparently offended somebody.
That is very true. He is quite offended, to say the very least. And also with us, who has also given offense in the way of retribution from his god, is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you are playing.
Howdy, y'all. I am playing Tix Birchmanson, the high and mighty short.
Yes, and on top of the prow of a ship, next to the devil himself. And also with us, cleverly hiding behind Morezi so that he does not lose all of his 12 hit points in a single blow, is James. James, tell everyone who you are playing.
Well, hidey-ho! I am playing Penton Chalice, the spell scale sorcerer who doesn't want to get hit by things.
So that you don't get super dead. And last but certainly not least, charging into the battle, smashing skeletons with her halberd, is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you are playing.
I will be playing Morezi Mugra, a barbarian with an orcish mother and a human father.
Indeed, indeed. And has been doing some wonderful artwork for the show. If you are doing yourself an incredible disservice if you do not look at the show notes from the last episode of the incredible artwork from Izzy. Oh boy. But when we last left off, we were in a pitched battle with Punchy McBeardface, who seems to be much more than human now, on the prow of a ship. Tix is next to him. Down below are 3 remaining burning skeletons. Engaged in battle with them is Morezi and Osokai, and also a gentleman by the name of Kurus Vigilfist and his 4 compatriots, fellow adventurers, it seems, who have leave from the king of Hyboria. And also, we've had the action temporarily come to a halt, though we're going to keep the initiative order, is Skull. Skull is the elf woman who made quite an impression on Penton, who had been knocked unconscious by the falling by the falling flames that revealed a witch of the lowlands who had come into the chicken hut. She had revealed herself to put a knife around Skull's neck, told you all to halt, and the flesh began to slough off her face, revealing the final hag, the least of the 3 hags, but nonetheless incredibly dangerous, the Boo Hag. And that is where we are going to pick up. And she says, "Lay down all your weapons, or I'll slit the elf's throat." Skull calls out, and she says, why don't all of you kill this woman for me? She apparently is not cowed by her in the least. While I'm going to keep initiative, if anyone would like to do anything at this moment, I will give them action to do so.
Okay. Personally, I want to try and make mental contact with the hut, if at all possible. I don't know if I can do that from a distance, but I'm going to give it a shot while I have a second.
So you discovered that if you were standing essentially in the same square as the hut, that you could command it to attack. But as you recall, the hut actually came running to you when you were in the mining facility area.
Right.
When this connection seemed to have strengthened. So that is something that you may be able to do, and that means I need you to make an Arcana check.
All right. Oh, here we go. There it is. Ooh, a modified 20.
Oh, wow. What would, if you could command it perfectly, would you like the hut to do?
I'm going to command it to start shaking.
Okay. And by the way, you feel, like I said, the magic that connects you to it. When you access that, it actually scratches that same itch in your head when you summon the magic from within you. And so you feel this very naturally. You also, when you are doing this, cannot use your own magic simultaneously.
Right.
Having said that, you know your own magic. It's just a natural instinct for you. And you can tell there is some influence blocking this somewhat. Perhaps, I don't know, an hag that might have had some play in creating the hut. Nevertheless, you connect with that intelligence that is the chicken hut, that mind that is inside the skull, and you ask for help. And all of you see suddenly, and suddenly the hut just starts going boom, 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 just dancing from foot to foot. And I actually need the hag to make a dexterity saving throw.
That's what we were looking for.
Which she fails. She fails the dexterity saving throw. And she falls out of the hut. She just flat out falls out of the hut. And just, wow! And she will actually take, even though it's a very short fall. Wow, she rolled maximum. She's going to take 6 points of damage. 6 points of damage. I do actually need Skull. She also... but she rolls a 16 plus her modifier. As you would imagine, someone who works with jewelry has a very high dexterity. She also is falling out of the hut, and her hand just reaches up and grabs the edge of the door frame and holds herself, and she is just being shaken like a rag doll. But the hut is just going boom, 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 boom.
Not bad for a blind lady.
Yeah, not bad at all. She is blind, but as Pinson has found out, she actually has capabilities beyond these. Yes, some enhancements beyond the normal blind person. And she is holding on very, very well. Do you command the hut to stop now?
Oh, yes. Once the hag has fallen out, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. And by the way, this was very challenging for you to do. It was a strain to command it to do a specific action this far away. Even though you're only about, maybe 15 feet away, it was difficult to do. But you rolled very high, and so you succeeded. The hag is flung to the ground, taking 6 points of damage, her knife actually flinging from her hands. And I'm going to add her to the end of the initiative. And we're actually going to go back up to the top of initiative. We're going to keep everything the where it is. That actually brings it to Tix. Tix, we've got you on top of the ship with Punchy McBeardface. He has been damaged quite a bit. He's very, very angry. He is focused on Osokai right now, but I would not say he's entirely unaware of you.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to jump on his back and do my last inflict moderate wounds.
Okay.
And that is a modified 20.
Ooh.
Modified 20. Wow.
Modified 20.
So go ahead.
So not a natural 20, but...
Mm-hmm. So you don't get to damage it, but you definitely hit. So roll for that damage.
That is a nice 21 points of damage.
Ooh-ha.
Wow. So that is 94 points of damage that y'all have done to Punchy McBeardface. He's still alive.
Ooh,
that's
not good for
He
Tix.
is an... By the way, that's more hit points than either of the hags that you killed had. This is an incredibly tough creature. However, when you reach up and jump on his back and touch him, you disintegrate part of his back. Normally, you've done this to creatures many times, and it will reveal bone, it will reveal muscle underneath. All you see is more kind of grayish, fleshish matter that is undulating underneath, but it is damaged and bubbling. You have hurt him very, very badly. And you can't see the front, but his face is still looking at everyone, but another face grows in the back of his head and scowls at you. And he's a little angry there, but he's also very, very hurt. That will bring us to Penton. Penton,
All right.
You have just commanded the hut to stop dancing, and the hag is on the ground. Skull is holding on to the edge of the hut.
All right.
And there are
can I
also
see
the
him?
skeletons. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Can I assume that I still have the tenuous connection with the hut?
You do still have the tenuous connection to the hut. If you command it to do anything, you will not be able to use any spells.
That's okay, because I'm going to command it to bring its foot down onto the hag.
Okay. Just so you know,
Yes.
you could sense before that you need to be right next to the hut in order to do this basically without having to make an Arcana check.
Gotcha. Okay, well,
so-
I'll step closer, just to get
Yeah,
myself into like full
You
contact range.
you absolutely could do that. You can even, especially the fact that she's on the ground, you can move past the hag without taking an attack of opportunity.
Okay.
And just move within range of the hut. You can kind of feel like a clink. It's almost like, a Bluetooth device getting in range.
Right.
Whereas
now
where you were
connected.
before, where you were before, you were getting that. And when you get in range, it kind of clicks into place. And even that interference that you feel with the hag, you are still able to make it act. And what would you like to have it do again?
Oh, yes, I'm going to have it snuff out the hag as much as possible with its foot. So,
Okay.
bring it on down. Smush a hag.
And that is, I think I established before, that is a just straight Arcana roll with your bonus
Okay.
to hit with the foot.
That'd be 17, sir.
That will hit. She
All
has a
right.
high armor class, but that does hit.
Okay, and I don't recall what the
Oh,
damage
I
was
apologize.
for the
Yeah,
foot.
it is actually 2d10 damage
All right.
to hit with because they are giant chicken feet.
That's 14 points.
14 points of damage. You hear her let out some kind of call like, no, I command you, and just boom, and it just comes down on her and squashes her real good. 14 points of damage, and it drives her into the ground. I actually would have given you advantage, I forgot, but you already hit anyway, because you have advantage on her since she is on the ground.
Right.
And that will actually bring us to Osokai. Osokai, there are 3 burning skeletons in range of you. And there are, of course, Punchy McBeardface, who tried to kill you a moment ago. And then, of course, this new revelation with the hag.
Where are his pseudo polyps?
All of them have retracted. That's just kind of how the attack works. Is like boom, and then they sling back. I will allow you, by the way, if you do want to hold your action for if one of the pseudopod comes in range of you to attack it. I would allow that.
I wasn't thinking of that. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll hold and see if he attacks.
And that will bring it to Merezi. Merezi, you're surrounded by burning skeletons and hags behind you and jokers to the left, and here I am stuck in the middle with you. No, just kidding. What would you like to do?
Has Punchy died yet?
No, he's still quite alive, though quite damaged.
Am I near him?
You are not near him at all. He is on top of the prow of the ship that came smashing in. So he is essentially 40 feet away from you if you were able to get up there, which you cannot without climbing the ship or going through the hull of the ship.
All right, I think I'll just attack whatever skeleton is most currently damaged.
Okay, the one who has taken the most damage is actually the one with 2 sickles, has taken a total of 11 points of damage.
All right, I get to kill her twice. Let's see.
She was the one you killed before, yes.
23.
That will definitely hit. Roll for damage, and then you will need to half it because it is a halberd.
Let's see. 6 points of damage, including the half.
Okay. So you do 6 points of damage to her, and she opens her skeleton-y mouth and lets out a weird ah, and flames kind of shoot slightly from her mouth. But she is looking pretty rough. You smashed her up, even though the halberd doesn't do as much damage. Still a smash from a strong barbarian half-orc. And that will bring it to the compadres of Vigilfish et al. They are attacking the skeletons. 1 and 2. So 2 of them are able to hit. That is 10, and that is 9. So those are actually really good hits. So that is 9 points to the red cap with the hammer. So he's taken 15 points of damage, and then the one with the torch has also taken 10 points of damage. One of the defenders actually falls to the ground, injured and unconscious, simply from the continued flames. They are essentially on fire, and they fall down, screaming and ah! And that it's kind of hard to attack things that are on fire. And that will actually bring it to the skeletons. And so the skeletons are attacking, and the sickle woman will attack you, Marizi. The first one, she rolls a 17. Will that beat your armor?
No, by 1. Okay. Ha!
And she rolls another 17, which not only won't beat, but is actually a minus because it's her offhand weapon. So she fails both times. Quack, whack! It's almost like she has no eyes. And the remaining 2, a 5 and a 5. 2 5s! DM night dice just suck. That will actually bring it to Punchy McBeardface.
Here we go.
He is going to split his attack. 3 pseudopods come flying out at you, Tix. They, in a very Cronenberg type action, they just explode out of his body and come flying out towards you. So I need you to make 3 dexterity saving throws.
Well, that's not good.
Or reflex saving throws. I keep saying dexterity.
It's close enough. It's still going to be horrible. That is a 17, a 10, and a 9.
10 and a 9. So 2 of them do hit you.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
That is actually 13 points of damage. And you have your shield on you. Does that give you any extra thing other than your armor?
No. It's armor class and then protection from mind control and possession.
Okay, so you take 13 points of damage.
I don't
where does that put you?
You don't have to make me take it.
Well, you're actually lucky that his second roll was actually relatively poor. And I need you to make 2 opposed grappling rolls. I've got good news for you. He rolled pretty bad on both of them, so we'll see how you do.
I got an 18 on one and a... no, that would be -2. That would be a 4 on the other.
So that is unfortunate on the last one because he rolled a 5.
Yes.
So he actually did succeed. He missed on the first one. So you have been grappled by 1, and it is actually starting to draw you towards that giant maw that just opens up and begins to draw you in. But not this round. The other 3, unsurprisingly...
2.
I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. The remaining 2, because Tix destroyed 1. Thank you very much for reminding me. The remaining 2 are going to attack you, Osokai. And I believe that you've been holding your attack, have you not?
Yes.
So I will allow you to make your attack first.
I actually want him to go first.
All right, more than fair. He will make his 2 rolls. That is an 8 and a natural 20.
Okay.
So the natural 20, that is With the natural 20, that is actually 16 points of damage. Are you still up and standing?
I am not.
Yeah, that is troubling. You actually are knocked unconscious by the blow. And so the grapple actually automatically succeeds. And your unconscious body is starting to be drawn towards him. How far past your hit points? Was that 2 past your hit points?
-4.
-4. Okay, gotcha. Just wanted to kind of keep where everything is at the moment. And then we will go to the hag. And you are all in terrible danger. Except for one thing. This is actually very fortunate because I, as the DM, am making decisions of the characters, as the characters. Here's the thing. If the hag had seen you fall, Osokai, she would have continued in her battle. But she actually had not intended to engage in this battle. What it was is she actually saw things going south. And so she decided to play her hand and reveal herself in order to give an advantage to Punchy McBeardface. But now that this unexpected upset where she's been knocked to the ground, she flies away. She just straight up Superman's, just boom, flies away and takes off, flying away, going. You remember, y'all defeated her 2 sisters, one of them who was holding the staff of Seraphim. And she takes off and she is gone. I mean, y'all can still see her. If someone would like to try to take a pot shot, you could, but you'd have an incredible disadvantage. She takes off running. She just flees. I would allow you, Penton, to get 1 attack of opportunity on her if you would so.
Oh, I gotta.
Can I try 2? I bought 2 bolas.
I would allow you to throw a bola at her, though you will have disadvantage because she is just taken off. So you need to take your lowest roll. However, the attack of opportunity is not disadvantaged because you're right next to her. That will hit.
It's not gonna kill her, but make me feel better. 4 points of damage.
So that's 18 points of damage against her. And your bola, how did you roll?
Let's see. That is a 12.
Yes, unfortunately that will not hit. You do give a good shot, but it goes off into the distance. You do see it land this time, so you will actually be able to retrieve that one after the battle, assuming you survive. Unlike the one in the deep forest. But yeah, the hag, she's out of there. And it's actually pretty ironic because if she had seen you fall, Osokai, she would have probably stayed and see if she could kill all of you. Because she is very powerful, but she also has a really strong survival instinct. And hags typically use their minions. They do not typically, engage in hand-to-hand combat. They were just so sure that they could kill all of you that's why they did so in the past. And remember, even then, they summoned a giant, weird bone elemental to do most of their dirty work. Hey, so that will actually bring it all the way back up to Tix. Tix, you are being slowly drawn into this maw. One of the pseudopods is on you, drawing you in.
Okay.
It's crunchy McBeardface now.
I just want to clarify something, if I can.
Sure.
So, because I'm in negative hit points, I am dying. That means that every round, I have to make a percentage roll, or I lose another hit point until I'm either stabilized or I die.
That is correct. That is correct. I thought it started with the next round, but if it was this round, you certainly can go ahead and roll.
On the next turn, after a character is reduced to between -1 and -9, and then all subsequent turns, roll percentage to see whether the dying character becomes stable. I have a 10% chance of becoming stable. So I need to roll 10
you do that on your
lower, I think.
Yeah,
so
that
on your turn?
That's on your turn, isn't it? Which is coming up. Because it's Tix's turn right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure we were actually going to go through with that. So
Oh yeah. You're dying.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
are
you're
dying.
dying. Oh,
Again.
yes.
Yeah.
You
You're
will
dying.
die.
But right now, Tix, you see the unconscious and you recognize dying form of Osokai being slowly drawn towards Punchy McBeardface. Of course, you are also being drawn towards Punchy McBeardface. Actually,
Is Osakai still down on the deck, or is he on the dock, or is he up with me now?
he is not quite in touching distance with you. He is actually being drawn up.
How
will-
much does
if
Tix
you-
weigh?
Not very much.
I
Because he would be
weigh.
being drawn up probably a lot faster than I would be.
Well, and also Tix is was very
yeah,
close to
I'm
him.
I'm on him. I was on his
Now,
back.
if you want to hold your turn until Osokai is in range of you, I will allow that. By the way,
No, I will cast Sanctuary on my.
okay. You cast Sanctuary on yourself. You see the giant maw starting to close in on you. Nothing happens. It can't. It's like it's trying to bite into an impenetrable. It's like it's trying to bite into a mountain. It just cannot injure you while the spell is in effect, and it is furious. It is just roaring, but it cannot. And that was your turn. It is now Pinton's turn. Pinton. The unconscious and now dying Osokai is being drawn up to Punchy McBeardface's giant chest maw, and Tix is trying to be eaten but can't be, and Skull is actually recovering up there. The hut is above you technically. You are
Right.
near its feet. What would you
Right.
like to do?
Well, I've got one shot left, so insert shotgun cocking here. Let's let this last set of magic missiles fly and see if we can't put an end to this. Ooh, that's boxcars. So that's 18 more points of damage.
18 more points of damage. So that is 112 points of damage
And he's still not
that
dead.
you have done. He is not dead,
Oof.
but he is very badly injured. You can just tell from your years of combat experience. He's just very, very bad off, but he is still... remember that of all the people that he hates Osokai the most. And even if he senses that he might die soon, he will not give up this chance to kill Osokai. And so he's still drawing him towards his maw. And that will actually bring it to you, Morezi. You see Osokai being drawn in, and you see Punchy McBeardface drawing him in and smiling, and then the giant maw smiling, and you see the 3 remaining burning skeletons down below. What would you like to do?
Do you think my dumb bola thing could harm the pseudopods?
There's no reason it wouldn't.
Alright. I'm gonna try to shoot one at the one that is pulling in Osokai, because I don't think I have the range to get to... Wait, is Osokai still near me? Where?
No,
Exactly.
he's being drawn up into the air.
Okay. Alright. And I couldn't... Too far in the air for me to get a smack with my big ol' axey thing?
No, yeah, it's too far for a hand-to-hand attack.
Okay, let's roll on the bola. 12.
I'm sorry.
Come on, it's a pseudopod. It's made
I
of
know.
like goo.
It's not hard to hit, but unfortunately it has a armor class higher than 12. It's because it's in motion and it just goes
It's
past.
just goo.
And that one actually does go into the water.
We're still in town. I can buy more.
That's true. And now it is time for Vigil Fist and his crew. They are still vigorously attacking these skeletons. How about they all miss. And in fact, one of them actually takes a moment, and he is actually putting out the fire of the one who is unconscious, and also, is trying to stabilize one of them who was dying. But they all miss. Every single one. And that will actually... Morezi, you have a pet, do you not?
A good lizard.
Yes. She scrambled off your back during combat, as she so often does. Penton, you have a pet, a familiar who is your friend, do you not? What is that familiar's name?
Aphil?
Aphil. Osokai, you have a new companion that you've been getting to know. A boar of larger than usual size, of strange origins. What is the name of that boar?
The boar's name is Chop.
Chop. Now, none of, and by the way, I want you all to know this for reasons that will be revealed later if they ever do. Him naming the boar Chop, obviously that's just a funny joke on pigs and boars and meat and such, but it fit so perfectly with one plot element that I'm working on that it actually shocked me. I was actually shocked to see that he had chosen the name Chop. Do y'all remember that I said that when the skeletons came out, 2 hatches opened up?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Suddenly, as you are being drawn into the maw of Punchy McBeardface, out of the deck explodes this pig, this boar, this tusked thing that is just in a blind fury rage and is just going... and charges Punchy McBeardface, and fortunately gets advantage and gets a 17. Would you tell me, Osokai, what is the damage from his tusk attack?
His attack is a gore, and it rolls a D8.
A D8.
With a bonus of +4.
+4. That's the damage?
That's his attack bonus.
To his attack bonus. Gotcha.
Yes.
So he definitely hits. And what is his damage bonus? Well, actually, I think that's...
It'd just be his strength, wouldn't it? So 2.
Mm-hmm. 2. Okay, so that's 8 points of damage. That is... It would actually be so poetic if he killed Punchy McBeardface, but he's actually still alive. He's still barely alive. But he slams into Punchy McBeardface. I'm going to require him to do 2 rolls. And he manages to hold on to you, Tix, but he can't injure you. But he actually drops you, Osokai. You fall to the deck, unconscious, and I actually need you to, since we got a little out of order, to make your first roll for death.
Okay, so 10%. So I need to roll 10 or lower. Did not. Okay, so you are continuing to die. That was your first fail. 1.
And that will actually bring us back to Tix.
Is our beloved bear man any closer to me now?
He is very close to you in that he fell essentially right next to you because he was being drawn into the maw of this creature when he was dropped. So he's actually just a few feet from you.
Okay, then I'm going to go piss off Punchy McBeardface even more and walk and stand over Osokai and cast Cure Light Wounds on him for... Let's see. I get to cast my healing spells at +1 levels. That is 14 points of cure for him.
Impressive. So
that will actually stabilize me at 0.
At 0, it doesn't take you to 1?
I don't believe so.
It's been a while since I've done death in 3.5, or near death. So, but you instantly stabilize, and your breathing returns to normal. And Tix, you recognize this as with your healing skill and your knowledge as a healer.
I am incorrect. I get the full benefit of those hit points.
Okay, I thought that's the way it worked, but I knew that. I think the stabilizing is like if someone's giving you medical care, right?
Yeah, it's
stabilizes you to 0.
It's a standard heal check, I think. that takes it to 0, but magical healing I get the normal benefit from.
Yeah.
Right. So that does I believe, does take into account the -4, does it not?
Well, it's -5 now for the loss.
Yes, -5.
So you should be at 9 hit points.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Which
so
is
you
enough
all,
because it's fully functional. So
yes. So you all see the unconscious and dying out body. You've just been ravaged by these slam, bam, 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 and of course the fire damage and everything. And then suddenly just life comes back to you. Not that you were dead, but you were, in very, very bad shape. And you find yourself standing in front of Punchy McBeardface. And that actually brings it to Pinton. Pinton, it is your turn. There are still 3 skeletons on the ground, and there is still Punchy McBeardface up there.
Right. He's so close. So close. I gotta try it and see if it does the final blow, even though it would be kind of anticlimactic. I'd rather have that happen than anybody else die. Yeah, I'm gonna throw an acid splash in his direction.
Okay. What is, just out of curiosity, what is the range of an acid splash?
I was just looking that up.
So I know your magic missile is quite far, but I can't remember actually what a acid splash range is.
I think it's 120
Backing up by
feet. Oh no, it's close range. It's 25 feet plus 5 feet every 2 levels.
Oh, okay. So it would be in range given your levels.
So about 35 feet thereabouts.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 5 plus 5 for every 2 levels. So with you being level 4, that would just be enough.
Just be enough. It's a lava glob.
Lava glob.
His direction.
Ew. Yeah. From now on, the acid splash is you spitting it.
Oh, and it's a 20.
A natural
Rolls a
20?
20. Yes.
Oh, nice. Let's put an end to this, bad boy.
So it gets a full D6. Well, D3 times 2. Let's see what happens.
What's your number 1?
And that's 3, so 6 points.
6 points. This was a major battle, and so I didn't mess around when I assigned his hit points. I actually scaled it down slightly because I based it on a very, very powerful creature, and then scaled it back slightly. He had 125 hit points. You just did 6 points of damage, which is 1 more than his hit points. So describe to me this weird amorphous shape-changing thing. When you throw this acid on him, what happens to him?
Well, let's see. As it flies through the air, it of course lands directly into his gaping gullet.
Nice.
And just starts to fry him from the inside out.
Gotcha. And you just
whatever's left of him.
With his he realizes that he's going to die, and so what his goal, especially when he sees you, Osokai, come back to life, he's like, "No, you will die!" And he opens that mouth even wider to just chomp down on you, even though he can't exactly because of the sanctuary. And the splash just whoop right inside him, and you just see him shift and bubble and curse, and finally just pool into this disgusting blob-like thing on the ground.
What a world! What a world!
Exactly. And I would like actually both Tix and Osokai to make a perception check.
Okay. That is a 12.
12. And Osokai?
That is, that's a 4.
Whoa.
A 4? Okay.
Well, you just did wake up from unconsciousness.
Yeah, you were just not dead. So one thing though to note is combat is not over. There are still 3 skeletons, flaming skeletons down below, but the immediate most dangerous thing has now been dealt with. Tix and Osokai, you are both up on the ship. And Marezi and Pinton, you are down below, and that will actually... Whose turn is that? That actually brings it to you, Osokai.
Yeah.
All right.
And your the boar Chop comes up to you and kind of nuzzles your leg very aggressively, like, vroom, 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 like, and you could tell it's essentially saying, "Are you okay? You're okay? You okay?"
Well, he is like 4 feet tall.
No, he's a big boy. He's a big boy, but he's, relatively
At
short
the
compared to
shoulder. Well, yeah. But he's about the same size as Tix.
you. Dum-bum.
A little bit shorter.
Pretty
That'll
short.
do, Peg. That'll do. I will actually give the boar a pat on the head behind the ears. A little bit of a scritch.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of reassuring chop that I am fine. Okay, so I have just come back from the dead again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a nod to Tix in appreciation. And Osuka honestly doesn't care much. Like, yeah, that was a bit frightening, but he still has a job to do. He's going to leap down from the prow onto the nearest skeleton.
Okay.
Shifting on the way down.
Now, you are 30 feet up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So I certainly would allow you to roll to lessen the damage, but that is 3d6 points of damage from a fall.
Well, if I'm jumping onto a skeleton...
I would
flaming
definitely,
skeleton.
A flaming skeleton. I would definitely allow you to mitigate the damage because you're landing on something as opposed to just smashing into the ground. But do also remember the skeleton is on fire. Their fires are beginning to die down because it was literally that they're just coated with pitch. But, this, as you know, with D&D combat, this is all just taking place in just a matter of seconds, really.
Yeah.
Less than a minute. So they're still very much on fire. So I'm just saying, with you having 9 hit points, I just want to. It's awesome.
It is Osukai's nature.
Okay.
It is what Osukai would do.
All right.
Yeah, he's just gonna jump on the nearest skeleton, shifting on the way down, and attack with his claws.
Okay. I would like you to make a reflex saving throw and a constitution saving throw.
All right.
Or fortitude, I should say.
Reflex. Oh boy. Okay, that's 17.
Okay, so you succeed in that. So you will
fortitude?
take 4 damage from the fall because you greatly reduced the amount of damage by your reflexes and landing on the skeleton. And what was your fortitude?
Fortitude is... Oh, that's a 20 on the die plus my save, which is 26.
Okay, so I'm going to say that you were able to kind of land on the part of the skeleton that... It wasn't that you didn't land on the fire, it was just that like you landed in such a way that like your boots and your leggings kind of took the brunt of the fire. So you don't take fire damage this round, basically. And I want you... I'm actually not even going to make you... Well, just give me a roll of attack, and don't roll a 1.
Okay. Well, that's not too hard. Yeah, that's a 19, so...
Okay. And I want you to roll... because you were hurtling downwards, I want you to add... you would do 2d6 damage, and you're actually adding... So, total of 4d6 damage to the skeleton, because this attack is very effective against a skeleton, shall we say.
Okay. That's a 6 on the first die. It's a 5 on the second. 6 on the third. And a 6 on the last.
Okay. This is the skeleton with the torch. It was the one closest to the boat. And you see it just kind of look up for a moment and go, huh? And then just... boom! You'll all see him just land into the dock, and the dock actually cracks underneath. If you had rolled a little less, this actually would have killed you. Or at the very least put you back on the path towards death. But you rolled just enough, so you just took that, I believe, 4 points of damage, and you just destroy the skeleton. And there's a moment where Vigil Fist and the others just kind of stare at you as they are like, okay. And that will actually bring it to you, Marezi. There are 2 skeletons left. The one closest to you is the one with the sickles.
I'm gonna try to murder Sickle Sally with my halberd.
And that is her name forevermore.
23.
That will definitely hit.
Yeah.
She has taken 17 points of damage.
Add 8 point. Wait, add 4 points to that.
So she's now taken 21 points of damage. She's very badly damaged. And I need you to make a reflex saving throw.
Yes.
Do not take fire damage.
Natural 20.
Nice. So you smash into her, and when she comes close with her flaming face at you, you just back up a little bit and do not take fire damage. And that will actually bring it to Vigil Fist, who says, "Oh, sally forth!" What did I do with my dice? Wow. One of them hits. They have just been doing awful. Well, they're using DM dice. What else? What can you say? So it does 8 points of damage to the one with the red cap. So that is 23 points of damage. Still standing. Still two very badly damaged skeletons. That will actually bring it all the way back around to you, Tix.
Since Tix is quite the distance for his short legs, he is going to trust that his companions can take care of last flaming skeleton, and he is going to search the body of Punchy McBeardface.
Yeah, give me a quick investigation roll.
Okay. That is a modified 18.
You find something. Whatever it was made of included the clothes, Mystique style. So when it disintegrated into goo, it left nothing behind, except it actually had partially fallen into one of the cracked floorboards of the deck is a amulet. And the amulet is, you were just absolutely sure it is magical. You'd have no idea what kind of amulet it is, but you're absolutely sure it's magical.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. And that will bring us to Penton. Penton, there are two extremely badly damaged skeletons.
Yeah, let's take a swing at one, since that's what I'm down to at this point.
Okay, just to remember that, of course, that you will need to make a saving not to take fire damage.
Right, well, it's a quarterstaff, so, yeah, but I'll just do the save. Right.
Right, and that's why I allow it, as opposed to always taking damage if it's
And that's which save again? Reflex?
Reflex, yes.
Reflex, okay. So, first the attack, modified 20.
That will definitely hit.
And that will do 4 points of damage.
You destroy the one with the red cap.
Right down the middle, just split him in half.
Yeah.
Crumble the bones.
Bring it flat down, and you're even able to dodge out of the way for the reflex. Was that correct?
I'm about to find out.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, it was 19 total on the reflex save.
Definitely. It's a 15 for the save, so yes.
Okay.
And that will bring it back to you. I'm sorry, that will bring it to Osokai. Osokai, you are raising yourself up over the flaming shards of the torch skeleton. And there is but one left, the sickle skeleton, who is facing off with the Morezi. Doesn't see you at all.
All right. That would mean they're flat-footed, right? Since that
is
means
correct.
They're flanked. So
that is
they
also
do not
correct.
They do not get their dex bonus to armor class. All right. Let's just finish this off, shall we? I am shifted. And
Now, if you attack with your fingers, you will take automatic damage from the fire. But if you attack with your mace or some other longer weapon, you can make a saving throw.
It's
Just
gonna
FYI.
be the mace.
Okay.
But when I'm shifted, I get a bonus. Can I tap the skeleton on the back of the skull with the head of the mace and then smack him when he turns around?
I will allow it.
All right. Oh, thank you very much. By the way, Michael, I sympathize with DM dice. So you know how these dice are great when I'm playing, and they've done it again. Yeah, I also DM a campaign on the off weeks that we don't record, and as a DM, my dice are terrible.
It is astonishing how little the other ones hit. I can't describe to you all how differently this combat could have gone. None of you took the damage from that mouth, but who shall we say?
Big boy damage.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Go for your. What is your damage?
So yeah, that's a 20 on the die.
Okay. Well, it's going to destroy it regardless. Then, so tell me how you destroy this final flaming skeleton.
So Osokai, after his cannonball into the dock. Quickly, with his mace, looms up behind the skeleton who is concentrating on Morezi and just... And as it turns around, just reels back and just swings for the back seats with his mace. And the head just pops off and goes soaring into the distance.
You just hear, ah! Boom, boom, boom. And yes, it actually goes into the water, and there's a hiss as it goes out. And that will actually end combat. I do want to say one extra thing. I do not need y'all to do combat for this. Morezi, do you remember fighting a creature in the graveyard with young Cyrus? It was a gross skeleton boy with guts on the inside and a whipping tongue that was super creepy. Yes.
I recall.
It is possible that that creature was both created and set loose by a certain hag who is skilled at necromancy. And the way that creature works is it actually kills and creates zombies. But you, Cyrus, killed it. And so what y'all see is coming out of the graveyard area, one lone zombie in what was supposed to be a horrifying route to this combat is just one pathetic zombie just comes out and
a zombie or another morgue?
Just another zombie. Just a zombie. So apparently at some point it managed to create one before you killed it. And I will say, by the way, just so you know, that morgue was a very weak morgue. It was a brand new, newly made one. A fully powered morgue would have torn your head off.
You know what would be amazing?
What's that?
If that head that I knocked off sailed over and just clonked out the zombie.
I make it so. Make it so. I was actually going to say that it rolled up to the zombie, but what happens here is it just boom knocks off, and the zombie is just and just boom hits it on the head, and there's a moment of pause, and then it just falls over dead. It was such a weak and barely animated by magic zombie because this morgue was so new and so weak in its powers that it just barely made a single zombie before you dispatched it, Morezi. And that you all kind of look at it like, huh, okay. That finally ends combat. Before we wrap up this scene, would anyone like to do anything?
Hey, Osakai.
Mm-hmm.
Only you can prevent skeleton fires.
Osakai is going to unshift, and with his shifting healing, he gets 4 hit points back. So
it still feels really good after the near death that you took. You have also got a ring that you found on one of the skeletons that you have pocketed.
Yes.
And of course, also there is the amulet that you have found, Tix.
Yes, I did. And I would like to explore the rest of the ship, see if there's anything else that we need to take care of.
Okay. Would anyone else like to search the ship?
Sounds like a swell idea.
Okay. Then anyone who wishes to do so, please make an investigation roll for me.
all right.
That is a 17.
17? Okay.
That is a 19.
Aw.
15 for me.
15. Okay, so y'all thoroughly search the ship. Vigil Fist seeing to the recovery of his ally, and as the crowd is starting to come out now that they see the combat is over, he is making pronouncements that, fear not, citizens, you are all made safe once again by Curus Vigil Fist and his crew, and just, on and on and on.
And
my crew of merrymen.
That's right. That is his voice. By the way, they do search the skeletons, but the skeletons actually only had one thing of value on them, and you found it because you picked up that arm, which is hilarious. That was the only thing of potential value. Go right ahead, please.
Osakai chop a hunter-killer boar, shall we say.
Mm-hmm.
He has the trick Seek. I'm going to get him to sniff the boards where our friend Punchy died, and then get him to seek and track through the ship to find out where he has been, where he made his home on the ship, just so we have a better idea of where to look for things.
Okay, here is what you find. First, as far as potential interesting things, you find a bottle. And obviously, a ship has many bottles on it, especially a pirate ship, mostly rum. But there's something unusual about this. In fact, I will say that actually, Penton, you are the one who finds this, given all of y'all's good rolls. Ooh. And you just can tell that there's something magical about this bottle. Would you like to open it?
Well,
Take
first
a
let me
Take a
first, first let me cast a quick detect magic on it and see what kind of magic it is.
I'm trying to remember creation magic.
Ah, that's what I was looking for. Yes, I will aim it toward an opening and open the bottle.
Okay.
Just in case it's like goes boom or something.
Gotcha. And you open it up, and you're like ready for like something to come exploding out, or perhaps a genie of the lamp or something. But actually, what comes out is just a little, like a puff of air. And then you kind of like, and you kind of like put your hand in front of it, and air just kind of steadily keeps coming out of this bottle. And being someone thinking, just, using your brain, if you were thinking about, I don't know, say a pirate ship or ships in general, if you were to, I don't know, go underwater, you suspect that this bottle would eternally generate air.
Excellent.
And so that you would actually be able to breathe from this. It is literally called a bottle of air.
Okay.
It's a magical bag of winds.
That is actually also a thing in D&D.
We already have ticks.
Bum.
Hey,
Wow.
By the way, in all of the sniffing and everything, I want to mention one quick other thing. Ticks. The boar had actually been rather aggro towards you when y'all met in the forest a while back.
Yeah.
You do not know how intelligent this boar is, but you suspect it is more intelligent than a boar, shall we say.
Or Osokai.
Perhaps.
He's smarter than the average boar.
The average boar. It actually comes up to you, and at first it kind of bristles a little bit, and then it comes up, and like he said, it is nearly your height, or just about your height. When no one else is there, Osokai is not there, it gives you a quick nuzzle, just for a second, and then it heads back to doing its sniffing and rooting. Perhaps it saw you heal Osokai up on the top. You suspect that it perhaps did. You go through the entire ship, and as far as, shall we say, goodies, that is actually all you find is that bottle of air and the amulet, and, of course, down below the ring that you found off the skeleton. Those are the only things. There is actually not a penny on the ship, which is kind of odd for a pirate ship, but who knows what happened in between. But what else you do find is you find a pentagram. You recognize some of the elements, that it actually seems to be a crude version of the pit in the Island of Death. And if you recall, the pit at the Island of Death was used to split apart a person from their skeleton to create a skeleton. Pinson, just kind of using your general magic sense and such, you think maybe this was used to fuse two things together.
In other words, Punchy and a mimic.
Yes. And I really mean that you're able to figure this out just, by using context clues. You figure that this is probably what happened and why Punchy had such weird abilities and basically became a mimic, yet was still Punchy McBeard.
Right.
Does anyone want to do anything else at this moment?
I'm going to head down to the chicken hut and check on Skull and make sure that we're all together.
Okay. She is still in the chicken hut, and she actually probably would have, she had, shall we say, cojones of steel that even when the hag had the knife to her throat, she didn't blanch. But she was recovering from a concussion, and so she was, pretty out of it. And so, as soon as she was out of immediate danger, she basically collapsed. She's still recovering from having her head knocked about when a giant comet smashed into the ground. So she is still recovering, but she is more or less okay.
Osakai is going to use some of the healing salve he bought from the strange old woman in the healers, which I believe is 2d6.
That is correct. It is 2d6 healing. The difference is that it has to be applied in the stinky salve, and that it doesn't last very long. So it's kind of good that you're using it now. And are you using that on yourself? On someone else? Okay. You apply it, and it burns, and it stinks, but it absolutely works. And you recover 2d6 points of damage.
So that's 6 on the die
Your
first.
Curachrome is wonderful stuff.
And 6 again. Okay, so that's 12.
Vigil Fist comes up to all of you, and he says, "That was very adequate work, fighting these forces of evil."
Well, thank you, Squeaky.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Very adequate work, fighting the forces of evil. And he
Are
says,
your hands okay? I know
They
you got burned.
They have been terribly burned in this battle, but I, Vigil Fist, am willing to take the blows for my good people of Masgate. And he raises his voice, his squeaky voice, at that, and you hear some people nearby cheer. And he says, "And I would be honored if you would all come with me to meet the king of Masgate." And that ends Chafing Armor, number 54. Fantastic job, everybody.
Yay!
Yes.
That was fun.
Woo,
Yeah.
we're not dead.
Really good job not dying. Osokai very nearly died. And that wasn't just me pulling out a plot point. Obviously, Chop was very much a character. It's just that it took him a few turns to actually get up on deck. Because he couldn't exactly climb up the side. He had to go through the bottom.
Poor guy.
But yeah, he made it up through. Y'all don't forget, if you want to find out exactly what those other 2 items are, you need to do an identify for it. I believe that Pinson, you have an ability with that with your Raven. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Oh, we have a magic sword and a magic necklace. We also,
That
as well
is
as
correct.
the amulet.
Well, yeah,
That
we'll
is
have to
correct.
spend
Have to
some
go-
time looking into that when we actually have like 5 seconds of downtime for a change.
Amen to that.
Yes, that is why I keep giving y'all back your healing and such when it is necessary. Is because I don't give you a moment to rest. So maybe that we'll have a little bit more of that time in the next episode. So you all have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for playing, and thank you so much for stabbing giant punchy McBeardface.
That was fun.
Yes. You all take care, and we will roll with you